It's 11 p.m. You're exhausted. You've been looking forward to sleep all day. You get into bed, you turn off the light, and your brain goes, right, let's go. The conversation you had 3 days ago, the thing you forgot to do, the worry that has no solution, the mental list that doesn't end. Sound familiar? Here's what I want you to know. This isn't a willpower problem. It's not anxiety making you weak. There's actual brand new science explaining exactly why some brains simply cannot switch off at night, and once you understand what's happening, you can start to fix it. Before we dive in, a quick mention. I have a free quiz in the description. It takes about 2 minutes, gives you a really personalized picture of where you are in your well-being right now. Grab it, do it. I think you're going to really love it. All right, let's talk about what's actually happening in your brain at night, because I think that most people who struggle to sleep have been told some version of just relax or stop overthinking. And if you're anything like me, advice like that makes me want to throw something. No useless advice today, just the real explanation, the patterns that you may not have noticed and the things that actually work. Okay, so I found some research at the University of South Australia. They published research in 2025 that I've found genuinely fascinating. So they tracked thinking patterns across the day and at night in people with chronic insomnia. And they compared it to people who are sleeping well. And here's what they found. Healthy sleepers have a predictable rhythm. So their brain naturally shifts from active, problem-solving, daytime thinking to a quieter, more disengaged nighttime mode. So it's a little bit like a dimmer switch that automatically turns down as the evening goes on. But in people with insomnia, the dimmer switch doesn't work properly. So their thought pattern stayed in full daytime mode well into the night. In fact, the shift was delayed by about 6.5 hours. So their brain is literally still running its morning program at midnight. So this is not a character flaw, it's a neurological pattern, and explains why just telling yourself to relax doesn't work, because the part of your brain that's responsible for the problem isn't taking instructions. All right, so anxiety and sleeplessness feed each other, and it's a trap. Here's a statistic that stopped me in my tracks when I read it. People with insomnia are 17 times more likely to have anxiety than the general population. Not twice as likely, 17 times. And the reason is what researchers call a bidirectional relationship. So this is literally a scientific way of saying they make each other worse. Anxiety disrupts sleep, disrupted sleep increases anxiety. So more anxiety, worse sleep. It's a loop. And unfortunately, the cruel part is that once you've had enough bad nights, you start to become anxious about sleep itself. So you get into bed, and before your head even hits the pillow, there's this low-grade dread. Is tonight going to be another one? And that dread, it activates the very systems that keep you awake. I had a woman reach out to me once after watching one of my videos, and she said that she'd been exhausted for 2 years, but she couldn't sleep more than 3 or 4 hours. She had tried everything. And what nobody had told her was that her sleep problem had actually stopped being about sleep. It had become an anxiety response. And you can't solve an anxiety response with a better pillow. So I want to talk about the daytime habits that are quietly wrecking your nights. This one surprises people. We have this tendency to think that sleep problems are nighttime problems. It's something that starts when we get into bed. But actually, the research shows that how you live your days has an enormous impact on what your brain does at night. Screens are part of it, yes, but not for the reason most people think. It's not just the blue light, it's the stimulation. So scrolling before bed keeps your brain in active information processing mode. So your nervous system is on, it's alert. And that dimmer switch that I talked about never gets a chance to start coming down. But here's the one that's less talked about. the absence of real mental downtime during the day. So if your entire day is stimulation, activity, productivity, response, your brain never gets the chance to process the backlog. So it tries to do it at night. I mean, why has no one ever told us this, right? It's wild. It makes absolute sense. The moment the distractions are gone and the room goes quiet, your brain goes, finally, let's go through everything we didn't have time for today. So the 11 p.m. mental review isn't random. This is your brain catching up. We often see this in meditation as well. When we do meditation practice, people often come to me and say, oh my God, I started your 10-minute mind program and my mind is out of control. Of course, because you've given it 10 minutes of space and all the thoughts that you don't allow it to think finally have room to come in and actually have their chance to be heard. So, what's actually happening chemically? This is important for us to understand. When you're anxious, your body's releasing cortisol and adrenaline, which are your stress hormones. So these are designed to keep you alert, to keep you focused, to keep you ready for action. And they're brilliant for dealing with a deadline, or they're brilliant for dealing with a difficult conversation. But as you can imagine, they are absolutely terrible for sleep. And the problem is that for many people, the stress response never fully switches off. So basically, you've got low-grade cortisol running quietly in the background all day. And when the nighttime comes, it hasn't dropped enough to let your sleep hormones, primarily melatonin, do their job. So your body is still on standby. It's still scanning for problems. It's still not convinced it's safe to rest. So what actually works? Well, there are 3 things that the research genuinely supports, and I want to share them because they're not what you usually hear. First, a wind down buffer, not just dimming your screens, actually protecting the last 60 to 90 minutes of your day as genuinely low stimulation time. No news, no difficult conversations, no scrolling. Something that brings your nervous system down slowly. I want you to think of it a little bit like a landing runway for your brain. Second thing that's really powerful is a worry window. So this is a cognitive behavioral technique, and it sounds counterintuitive, but it works. So you choose a 15-minute window earlier in the day, not at night, where you deliberately write down your worries and any actions you can take. And when the thoughts come at midnight, your brain has got somewhere to send them. We actually dealt with this already. Not now. I don't need to deal with it now. And over time, it genuinely reduces nighttime rumination. And the third thing, and this is the hard one, the one that most people resist, stop trying to force sleep. The harder you try to sleep, the more activated your brain becomes. So the way to reframe it is that your goal isn't sleep, your goal is rest. Tell yourself you're just resting, not sleeping. And this releases the pressure, and very often sleep follows. So this is a powerful thing for us to understand. If you've been lying awake at night, feeling like your brain is working against you, it's not. It's doing exactly what it learned to do. It's trying to keep you prepared, trying to keep you safe, trying to keep you ahead of every possible problem. It just doesn't know that what you need right now isn't more thinking. It needs to be shown genuinely and consistently that it's okay to rest. And that takes practice. But it starts tonight. So, what does your brain do most when you're trying to sleep? What shows up the most? I hope this has been helpful. Don't forget, come and do the happiness quiz so I can help get you on the track to being happier. As always, be kind, take care, go gently in the world.